And joining me now is Cedric Richmond. He's the senior advisor to President Biden. Mr. Richmond, welcome back to Meet the Press. I should also note, as a former member of Congress, you obviously know quite a bit about what's going on in the Democratic conference there as well. So welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thanks for having me, Chuck.
Let me just start with some basics here. Where are we? And let me ask it this way. When the president acknowledged that these bills have to be passed together, maybe it wasn't his initial preference, but he's acknowledging the reality now. He also seemed to indicate that the number, the overall social spending number is going to come down to somewhere between 1.9 and 2.2 trillion. Is that where we are?
I'm not exactly sure in terms of the number. And we don't talk about it in terms of the number. We talk about it in terms of the needs that we need to meet for the people, in terms of the child tax credit, in terms of making sure that we bring health care costs down, in terms of prescription drugs, making sure that we make it more affordable. So we'll continue to do what we did with the American Rescue Plan, and that is to make sure we're meeting the needs of the American people. And then at the end of the day, we see what that adds up to. And here, in this case, we'll see how many of the needs that we can build consensus around and meet.
I am curious of that philosophically. There is a bit of a divide. I heard somebody refer to it as the appetizer strategy, meaning this. You try to do a lot of programs, and maybe if you can't fund them as fully as you wanted to, maybe they're shorter term, you create cliffs, and you sort of see what sticks. Another philosophy says, no, do 3 or 4 programs really well. What is the philosophy of the president?
Well, we will consult with Congress. Congress plays a big role in how this will ultimately look. But we've been clear from the start that we wanted to cut taxes for over 50 million American families, that we wanted to bring down the cost of health care, and that we wanted to finally address the climate change and make sure that we're fighting for our future. And we're going to do that by making sure that the wealthy and big corporations pay their fair share. Working families have been doing it for a very long time.
All right, but you're evading, obviously, specifics here. I get it. You don't want to negotiate in public. But is there some non-starters here? I mean, are there some programs that have to be included, no matter whether it's 1.5 trillion or 3.5 trillion?
Well, no, I won't get into red lines on TV. The president has made clear his red line, which was he was not willing to raise taxes on anyone who made less than $400,000. And so that's our red line. And we're going to work with Congress to make sure we meet the challenges. So I just went down a list of programs that are very important that we want to meet, and we're going to continue to meet with people until we get it done.
Some moderates are not happy with how things went down on Thursday and Friday. I want to read for you something Stephanie Murphy, a Democrat from Florida, said. The way he's governing doesn't reflect the skills I know he must have from his years as a legislator. And then she grumbled, according to the Times, I'm not clear why he came up to the Hill. Moderates feel pretty let down about this. They feel as if this bipartisan infrastructure bill is being held hostage in these other negotiations. What do you say to Congresswoman Murphy and others that are very upset about what went down?
They're my friends. What I would say is that we have an opportunity to meet this moment. We're in the 117th Congress. 116 Congresses before this could not get this done because it's hard. And so what we would ask is for Democrats, and we think we're there, and why the president went down to the Democratic caucus, is to make sure that we have unity of purpose. And we do. And that is to make sure that we keep children from drinking poisoned water, almost 10 million homes in this country, make sure we deliver on broadband. So we're bringing our caucus together. We're going to deliver on both bills. And that's what the American people want, and that's what they deserve.
Do you think relations with Senator Sinema are still good faith? And I say that because here was her statement yesterday. Good faith negotiations, however, require trust. Over the course of this year, Democratic leaders have made conflicting promises that could not all be kept, and have at times pretended that differences of opinion within our party did not exist, even when those disagreements were repeatedly made clear directly and publicly. She has indicated that there isn't enough trust in the Democratic Party. What do you say to her?
There's an enormous amount of trust in the Democratic Party. But more importantly, there's a lot of focus on the American families. And look, people will be disappointed. People will not get everything they want. That is the art of legislating. But the goal here is to get both bills. And we're going to fight until we get both bills. And that's the statement from the president. Human infrastructure is important and physical infrastructure is important. So we're going to do both.
There was news. It was news this week to the public that Joe Manchin's bottom line was $1.5 trillion. Yet apparently he gave that number to Senator Schumer in July, and apparently to President Biden quite a while ago. A lot of progressives, that was news to them on Wednesday or Thursday. Why is that? Why did it seem as if they were complaining that, hey, tell us what you want, and it turned out Manchin did? So did this unnecessarily delay negotiations?
No, when you ask, what do you want? Remember, we're not talking about this in terms of a number. We're talking about this in terms of the programs that meet the needs of the American people. So when we say, what do you want? Do you want child care? Do you want elder care? Do you want paid leave? Do you want to bring down the cost of prescription drugs? Do you want to expand Medicaid? Do you want to give tax breaks to working families in this country? When we say, what do you want? That's what we mean. And so our job is to bring people together, shape this in terms of the needs that we're going to meet, and then we'll see what a price tag is. We'll see where we end up. We'll see how long the programs will be in existence until they have to be renewed. That's how we're going to approach it. This is not about a number, because at the end of the day, here's what's important, Chuck. The number is zero. We are paying for everything in this piece of legislation. And it's very popular with the American people that the wealthy and big corporations finally pay their fair share. So we're going to pay for everything we do. So it's not arbitrary numbers. The number is zero.
All right. When is the new deadline? We know Congress doesn't act without deadlines. You're going to hit the debt ceiling, and then you're going to try to get this done? Is it by the end of October? Is it Thanksgiving? Or is there no deadline?
Unfortunately, Chuck, we both know that Congress works better when there are hard deadlines. But with the debt ceiling, we're going to keep our head down. We're going to work, and we're going to work on the bipartisan infrastructure bill and the reconciliation bill all at the same time. We can do it. This administration has been counted out over and over. If we go back to the American Rescue Plan and others, you'll see it. But here's what's important. The real question is, why are Republicans making us go at everything alone? We had to do the American Rescue Plan alone, which created more jobs than any administration in our history, which has increased our economic growth better than anybody in the last 4 years. We're going to have to be the mature party, responsible party, and keep us from going off of the debt cliff and ruining the economy and knocking everybody's retirement down, raising the cost of cars and interest and all of those things. Why do we have to keep going at it alone? But the good news is we do have a united Democratic Party. We're always going to put people and purpose first, not politics, and we're going to get it done.
Well, it sounds like after a long September, it may be a long October. Cedric Richmond, Senior Advisor to President Biden, appreciate you coming on and sharing the administration's perspective.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.